Good morning to my class 4th class students. Before starting a topic here, I would like to show you the content table of your textbook, maths textbook. The first one, whole numbers. The second one is multiplication and division of whole numbers. Third one is fractions. I have finished 3 chapters to you, first, second and third. Fourth chapter is tables in graph that I'll teach you, that I'll upload the video of this topic later. We'll go to the angles first. Before starting angles, I would like to share with my all students from class 4th onwards, 3rd class mathematics topics are actually upgraded form. The content is same, only upgraded form, but whereas 4th class, I always took 4th class serious. Last year students of my 4th class, I taught them the basic concepts, because the topics which are in 4th class standard actually basics for your 5th class, 6th class and 7th class mathematics. Focus more on 4th class maths topics, which are going to very useful for even higher classes also. And other class students like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th, the students who feel that they are very poor in fundamentals, basics, you please kindly go through this video where I am going to tell you about the fundamental concepts of angles, or you can say geometry. So pause the video in between and then understand it properly and follow it. Other class students, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th also can listen this to revise or recap once again the fundamentals of angles. Before starting, I would like to, or say before starting directly into the chapter, I have prepared a certain notes for you people where you will come to know the basic fundamental concept of geometry and also about lines and angles. We'll follow it at first. I don't mind the duration of video, let it be 1 hour, 2 hours or 3 hours, but I want to finish it off in only one video at one go. Let us come to angles. This is your fundamental concepts, right? Geometrical concepts. Before studying about angles, adjacent angles, interior angles, exterior angles, right? All this starts from a single point called a point. What is a point? Let us start from that level. Point. A point is a mark of position, means when you keep a point in a plane, you call this as a point. That is a fine, here a fine dot marked with a sharp edge pencil on a plain paper is called a point. It has certain properties also. Like first property, if you want me to tell, I'll tell you, the point doesn't have length, breadth, thickness or even depth. It doesn't have anything. Point is only a dot represented on a plain paper. Now let us go to the properties here. A point has neither length nor breadth nor depth, that is the thickness. You have one more property, that the point is always represented by a capital letter, say A, B, C, D and all. This is about point. Let us come back to the second concept, is line segment. What is line segment? This is very important. Before knowing to angles and other stuff, you have to understand what is the meaning of line segment. Let AB, say, suppose if this is a line A, this is B. AB at B, 2 points on a paper. Say this is a point and this is a point AB on a plain paper. Then the straight line from A to B, from straight line, that is the line from starts from A and ends at B. This is, you call it as line segment AB. I'll read it again so that you can understand, and better you write down in your fair notes all these definitions and try to understand it. Pause the video and try to understand the concept here, because it is going to be very easy for you tomorrow when you go for textbook content, and also in future when you go to the higher classes. Let AB be 2 points on a paper, then the straight path from A to B is called the line segment AB. What are the properties here? The properties is again, line segment AB is same as line segment BA. This is your line segment, say this is your A and this is your B. This is from A to B is also called line segment, from B to A is also called line segment. When you start from A and ends at B, you call it line segment as AB. Then when you start from B and ends at A, then you call it as BA. So both you call it as line segments. Let us come back to the next property. The line segment is denoted as AB under bar. Whenever you represent line, you should represent line as like this, AB under bar. This is the line, you have to keep it above your representation, that is A and B. The points A and B are called the end points of AB. Okay. Actually, the line segment is this. This is A and this is B. This is, you call it as line segment AB. And these points where you kept A and you kept B here, these 2 points you call it as end points of a line segment AB. The distance between the points AB is called length of AB. Yes. The distance between these 2 points, you call it as length of that particular line segment. Whether you label it as A, B or C, D or D, F, whatever it is. The distance, right, between from one point to another, you call it as its length. Then a line segment has a definite length which can be measured, of course, because you have a starting point and you have an ending point, so naturally it has its definite measure. You can measure it by using ruler. That is what given. So these points are very important to understand what is the meaning of line segment. So line segments have 2 end points. Since it has 2 end points, you can easily measure the distance between the 2 points. Third point is, since it has end points, you have a fixed measurement to it. That measurement can be taken by using ruler or scale, you can say. Then what is line? You have studied about point. A dot on a plane is called point, and you have studied line segment, that is the distance between 2 points, you call it as line segment. And third one is line. What is line? When you mark dots very close to each other, compact way, it forms a line. One thing. And second thing, line is endless, that it moves to the one side endlessly and also it goes the other side endless. So here I'll give you the definition. when a line segment extended endlessly on both sides. When the line segment extended endlessly on the both sides, then is called line. So this is your line. This is your point A and this is your point B. This is your line segment. But this is your line which indicates with arrows on the both sides. Means it extends endlessly, even in this direction, even in this direction as well. So we represent always a line by like this, AB, with two arrows on opposite sides. Let us read so that you can understand. When a line segment extended endlessly on both sides is called a line. It is denoted by AB or BA, provided that you should have arrows on the opposite sides at the end. Now it has properties. Line has properties. Let us go through even that also. A line has no end point. Of course, a line doesn't have any end points. It keep on extending right on the both sides. This side also it extends, this side also it extends. So it doesn't have any end point. If any line which has end points, you call it as a line segment, not a line. Line is only used to represent on a plain paper. Even we cannot draw a line, we can only represent a line. Remember that. Two arrows in opposite directions of a line indicates that it extends indefinitely in both the directions. So that arrow itself indicates, the arrows on the both opposite sides indicates that they are indefinitely extending in both directions. Then come to the then. Since the line is endless, it cannot be drawn on a paper, as I told you. We simply represent a line on a paper. We only represent a line on a paper. It is not possible to draw a line. Then, sometimes we may denote line by a small letter L, M and N or any alphabet, but it should be in a small letter. Let me explain here. This is the line extended to both sides. This is your line segment. Say this is A and this is B. This is fixed because you have two end points. But this line is represented by a small alphabet. Example L. So this is what given. Let us go. The next one is ray. What is ray? We have studied what is point, what is line segment, what is line. Now we are going for a ray. A line segment extended endlessly in one direction is called a ray. I'll just draw and explain you. A ray has only one fixed point, one end, say A, and it extends indefinitely only in one direction. This is called a ray. You remember sun rays. Sun rays, this is your sun, the rays are coming, right? So it has its starting point. What do you call it as? Initial point. This point you call it as initial point, from where it starts, and it goes, it moves forward endlessly, it extends forward endlessly. So in this way you are going to represent a ray which has only one end point. And suppose if this is the point if this is a line segment, then you are going to, this ray is going to represent as AB with an arrow on AB. So this is the representation symbol, how to represent a ray. I'll repeat it again. A line segment extended endlessly in one direction is called a ray. It is denoted by AB under arrow. And you have a properties also. Let's see. A ray AB has one end point that, as we have mentioned, we have already discussed. We labeled it as A. A ray AB has one end point, namely A. This end point A of the ray AB is called its initial point. As we discussed, that point you call it as initial point. That is starting. Initial means starting point. A ray has no definite length. Of course, ray and line both doesn't have any definite length, particular length. They are endless. Line is endless to the both sides, but whereas a ray is endless again, but in only one side, that is in one direction, not even side, direction. Then in this regard, we have one more kind of a ray topic. We call it as opposite rays. Let us study even that also. What is opposite ray? Two rays with the same initial point and extending indefinitely in opposite directions along with the same line are called opposite rays. Example, I'll tell you. This is an initial point. From here a ray is moving or extended in one direction, and another ray from the same initial point moves in opposite direction. Then with a common initial point, this is a common initial point for both the rays, right? In such case you call this as opposite rays. Got it? Let us see here. We have studied about first is your point, second is line segment, third one line, fourth one is ray. So we'll try to distinguish between these three things. One is line segment, line and ray. Let us go for it. This is very important one. Let us see distinction between a line segment, a line and a ray. We'll see. Line segment. I'll just read this complete sentences in a horizontal way so that you can easily distinguish between the three things. That is a line segment, line and a ray. The first one is a line segment has two end points. Of course, a line segment has two end points. As I told you in the beginning, this is your, and you have two line segments. Say this is A and this is B. You have two end points. This is one end point, this is one end point, right? A line has no end point. This is the line which extends in both directions, doesn't have any end point. And a ray has one end point because it has initial point. A ray has initial point through which the ray extends further endlessly. So it has only one end point, but the other end is keep on extending endlessly. So this is the difference, the first difference between a line segment, line and ray. We'll go back to the next one. A line segment has a definite length. Of course, a line segment has a definite length that you can measure it. It has definite measure, as I told you. This is your line, this is your line segment AB. It has a definite length to measure. But whereas a line does not have a definite length because it extends endlessly on both sides, and a ray does not have a definite length because it extends endlessly in one direction. So it doesn't have a definite length. This is also doesn't have a definite length, but whereas a line segment has a definite length because it has two end points. A line segment of a given length can be drawn on a paper. Yes, as I told you, a line segment, because it has two end points, it is easy to draw on a paper because it has a definite measurement. But whereas a line cannot be drawn on a paper, we simply represent it on paper. Similarly, a ray cannot be drawn on a paper, it can simply represent on paper because the ray is endless in one direction. The line is endless in both directions. But whereas the line segment is definite, it has two end points. Let us go to the next one. This is what? This is a line segment. This is your line represented by a small letter L, I have mentioned here, and this is your ray. That way you are going to understand between line segment, line and ray. Line segment AB is the same as the line segment BA. The distance between A and B is same as the distance between B and A. Line AB is the same as line BA. Yes, of course, when it extends on the both sides, you will say the same length. Line AB is the same as line BA, and rays AB, BA are different. Yes, BA, this is very important. AB and BA are different because see, this is your point, starting point, initial point, it extends to this direction. Say this is your B, this is your A. This is different. AB is different from BA. Suppose BA means the starting point is B. AB means the starting point is A. That is why these two rays AB and BA is always different. Remember this. Hope you have understood what is the difference between point, line, line segment, ray, and what are the dissimilarities or say similarities among them is already been taught here. Let's go to the next topic. You call it as angles. This is very important, and this of course gives you the opening of your next chapter, what we are going to start now. Before starting your chapter, let us study some basics of angles. What do you mean by the word angle? What is the meaning of an angle? According to the Latin language, angle is referred to a fish to a hook. A fish to a hook is called an angle, according to the Latin language or according to the Latin word. And according to the French word, angle is referred to a corner where the two sides meet. And how we define angle in English to understand, the figure formed by two rays with the same initial point is called an angle. Remember this always. This is your definition of angle. A figure, this is the figure. You have two rays here. This is your one ray and this is the another ray. For the both rays you have initial point is the same, the common initial point. So that point, see here, the figure formed by two rays with the same initial point is called an angle. Or you can say that is the area present between the two rays is always represented by an angle. In that way we are going to study as well. So here the common initial point is called vertex. This is very important. As I have drawn there, This is the common initial point for this and also for this. So this point you call it as vertex, where the two common lines, common rays meet. Right? The common initial point is called the vertex of the angle, and the rays forming the angle are called its arms or sides. So this is your one arm, this is your another arm, or you can say this is one side and this is the other side, and the common point of these two you call it as vertex. Remember this always. Then how are you going to name an angle? This is also very important, because many students, they get confused how to name an angle, which vertex you are going to consider while naming an angle. That is what you are going to study here. We may name the angle. See, suppose this is your vertex, right? This is a ray and this is the ray. You have to name an angle in such a way that a vertex should come in the middle. You can say it as angle AOB or angle BOA. These two are valid, correct. You should not say angle as OAB, or you should not say BOA, because the vertex is at O. That's why you should write the vertex in the middle of the 3 points. Remember this. That is what given. We may name the given angle as angle AOB or angle BOA. Either you go from this side or you go from this side. You have to represent angle by keeping the vertex in the middle first. Sometimes we may name an angle by its vertex alone. We can represent this in 2 ways. We can represent this either in form of AOB or BOA, and the second method is we will represent angle only by taking the vertex point, that is vertex is on O, that's why you can refer it also angle O. So angle O can be represented, or angle OAB or angle BOA also can be represented to name an angle. The angle is denoted by the symbol like this, as mentioned, like this. This is your symbolic representation of an angle. Then there are many kinds of angles. According to your standard, that is class 4, 4th class standard, we can classify angles based on certain things. What are they? We are going to study it here now. Let us see. Classification of angles. The angles are classified into many types on the basis of their degrees of measurement. Based on the degrees of measurement, we are going to name an angle, right? The angles are different types or different kinds based on their degrees. Then the question should come in your mind, what is degree? I have given that definition first, then I have explained the kinds of angles. What is a degree? Okay, that is the standard unit of measuring an angle is called degree. What do you mean by measuring unit? That measuring to a certain quantities you have a certain units. Like to measure liquid, you have liters as the measuring unit. To measure the distance, you have measuring unit as meter, kilometer, centimeters and all. Right? Similarly, to measure a certain angle, there is a standard unit, you call it as a degree. Then how much 1 degree means? What do you mean by 1 degree? 1 degree means 60 minutes. Written as 60, right, vertical dash like this. So 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. That is what given here. 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes, written as 60 and a dash. This is 60 minutes. Seconds, you refer it as like this. That is 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Hope you people have understood what is degree. Degree is a standard measuring unit for an angle. We measure angles in degrees. So 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Let us go now to the next one, is classification of angles. So how we are going to classify now? Classify the angles. As I told you, classification of angles depends on the degrees. Let us see. Angles are broadly classified into, the first one you have is your zero angle. You have zero angle, you have acute angle, you have right angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, reflex angle, complete angle, and relative angles are there, complementary angles and supplementary angles, that we are going to study now. Zero angle. An angle of measured 0 degree is called a zero angle. When you keep protractor on this, I'll show you when we go to our chapter, I'll show you. When the angle is on 0 degree, such angle you call it as zero angle. Second one is acute angle. Acute. Do you have a certain meanings also? As I think in one of my old videos I have even described, explained to you the etymology of these words. Today we are not going into that because it is going to be very lengthy then. If you want, you can refer my old videos, you will come to know. Acute angle. An angle whose measure is more than 0 degree but less than 90 degrees is called an acute angle. When you keep protractor and start from 0 and when it moves beyond 0 but it should be less than 90 degrees, such angle formation you call it as acute angle. I repeat it again. An angle whose measure is more than 0 but less than 90 degrees, you call it as acute angle. Therefore, see here, this angle, according to this picture, the angle is 60 degrees, which is, this is your 90 degrees, right? This is your 0 degrees. 0, 30, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So this is 60 degrees. So 60, which is lesser than 90 degrees. Such angles you call it as acute angle. Let us go to the next one. Right angle. Right angle. The angle whose measure is 90 degrees, or say exactly 90 degrees, you call such angle as right angle. It is there. See, this is your 0, this is your 90. When you keep protractor on this point, and if you see the line which goes through 90 degrees on a protractor, you can say that the angle formed between these two arms or between these two sides is exactly 90 degrees. Such angle you call it as right angle. Then obtuse angle. Obtuse angle. You know what is zero angle, what is acute angle, less than 90, what is right angle, exactly 90. When it goes beyond the 90 but should be less than 180 degrees, such measure angle you call it as obtuse angle. I'll read the definition now. An angle whose measure is more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. This is your 0 degrees, this is your 60 degrees, this is your 90 degrees. It is going beyond 90 degrees. This is your 90 degrees from here, right? It is going beyond 90 degrees, then but less than, this is your 180 degrees, less than 180, more than 90, less than 180. So this angle you call it as obtuse angle. The angle whose measures is more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees, such angles you call it as obtuse angle. So here in this figure you have E, which is 120 degrees, greater than 90 but lesser than 180 degrees. So 120 degrees is greater than 90, lesser than 180 degrees. So angle E here is how much? 120 degrees, which you call it as obtuse angle. Hope you people are understanding it. Let's go to the next one, that is straight angle. Straight angle is what? See here, it is very easy, simple. An angle whose measure is 180 degrees, you call it as straight angle. This is 0, this is 90, and this is 180 degrees. So come from 0 to 180 degrees. So this is called straight angle. Next, go to reflex angle. What do you mean by reflex angle? The angle whose measure more than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. Such angles you call it as reflex angle. Let us, an angle whose measure is more than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. See here, I have not kept here the mark. If it is here, then the angle moved from like this. Okay, I kept this, means this is your 60 degrees, say this is your 90 degrees, this is your 180 degrees, and it moves beyond 180 degrees. So the angle which is more than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. 360 degrees means it has to go around complete one circle. So this is your an angle whose measure is more than 180 degrees, but this is your 180 degrees, right? This is your 180 degrees. It is more than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees is called reflex angle. So this angle is 245 degrees. This is 180, 200, like this, 245, right? So angle O, here given as O, angle O is 245 degrees, therefore 245 is, right, greater than 180 degrees, but it is lesser than 360 degrees. You have studied about these angles, and you have one more called complete angle. Means when it has completed one complete circle. This is your 0 degree. From 0 degree, when it moves to 90, 180, 270 and 360, when it complete one circle, then such angle you call it as 360 degrees angle, or you can say complete angle. I'll just read this so that you can understand. An angle whose measure is 360 degrees is called a complete angle. Example, this 0. See, I kept an arrow here. It has started from this and completed. So you call it as 360 degrees. So you have studied the kinds of angles, or say the classification of angles. The first one is zero angle, second one is acute angle, third one is right angle, fourth one is obtuse angle, fifth one is straight angle, sixth one is reflex angle, and seventh one is complete angle 7. Now we'll go to the next one, is pairs of related angles. So we have two pairs for you people specially. First one you call it as complementary angle, and second one you call it as supplementary angles. What do you mean by complementary? What do you mean by supplementary? When two angles measures equals to 90 degrees, then you call it as complementary angle. Okay. Suppose if you have a, say 35 degrees, what is the complement of 35? Means 90 minus 35, that is 55. Okay, you understood? So 35 plus 55, see how much? Suppose you have one angle 35 degrees, then what is the complement of that? Complement angle of that should be 55 degrees, because when you add 35 with 55, it becomes 90 degrees. So such type of two angles you call it as complementary angle. They complement to each other. If one is 40 degrees, then its complementary angle should be 50 degrees. 40 plus 50 should be 90. If one is 20, the other should be 70. So you call it as complementary angles. So let us see. Two angles are said to be complementary if the sum of their measures is 90 degrees. When you add both the angles, you should get 90 degrees. Such type of angles you call it as complementary angles. In the same way, we have the second angle, you call it as supplementary angle. What do you mean by supplementary? Two angles are said to be supplementary if the sum of their measures is 180 degrees. Suppose you have an angle 100 degrees, the other supplementary angle should be 80 degrees. 100 plus 80, 180 degrees. So such type of two angles are called supplementary angles. I'll revise a little bit the thing what all we discussed. Then we'll go to your chapter. The first one is point, a dot on a plane. Second one, line segment. Third one, line. Fourth, ray. Then kinds of angles. Before starting that, we discussed about what is a degree. A standard measuring unit to measure an angle is called a degree. 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Then classification of angles. Zero angle, acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, reflex angle, complete angle. Then we discussed two relative angles, pair of angles. One is complementary and second one is supplementary. When two angles, the sum of two angles equals to 90 degrees, such type of angles you call it as complementary angles. And when the sum of two angles is equal to 180 degrees, then you call it as supplementary angles. This is actually a outline of your this is your 5th chapter, as I told you, my dear 4th class students. Angles. The first one is angle measures. We'll see. I'll just read it so that you'll come to know. It is nothing but when you study the basics, fundamentals, concepts, like what we have studied earlier, now you see your whole chapter become very easy for you. Okay, you can start understanding it. Naming angles here. See, this is your vertex. The common point of two rays, you call it as vertex. See here, rays OP, this is your OP is a ray, and OQ, right, is also one ray. Rays OP and OQ meet at a point O to form an angle. Point O is the vertex of the angle. This is what given. How are you going to name it? We name the angle as angle POQ. POQ. See, O is in the center, and here also O is center, or QOP. The vertex is always in the middle letter. See, the vertex is always the middle letter. Remember this. We can also name the angle as angle A. Angle A, or you can say angle O also. Okay. Then second one. The angle in the figure also named in the similar way. Here you have four angles because you have four vertex here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Angle A, angle B, angle C, or you can say angle D. If you want, I'll just give you more stuff. Angle DAB, angle ABC, angle BCD, and angle CDA. Now you see, angle DAB means I am talking about this angle because center letter is A, middle letter is A. When I go with ABC, it means I am talking about angle B because the middle alphabet is B. I am talking about this. Angle BCD means I am talking about angle C. CDA means I am talking about the angle D because it is middle. You understood? In that way you are going to study. In the square, we name the angle at vertex A as BAD or DAB, both ways. Name the angles of vertex B, C and D. In that way you are going to vertex. Already we did it. You can write it down the same thing for that. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Name the angle here. Name the angle here. See, angle is on vertex K. Right? You can write it down as LKJ. Angle LKJ, where you are talking about angle K because the K is in the middle, or angle JKL is also the same thing. Similarly, we are talking about here G vertex. So we can write it down as angle FGH, or we can write it down angle as HGF. In both the cases, you are referring to the middle letter G. Let's go to the next one. Name the angles in another way. We are going to write another way. We are going to write it down. Angle WXY means you should refer to X. The middle alphabet is X. Middle alphabet is X. We have another name here. What is that? C. So you write down here as angle C. Second one, angle YZW. So we are referring to the middle alphabet Z. See, Z has angle, other name of an angle, you call it as E. Angle B. Angle B is referring to W, means XWZ or ZWX. We can write it down as ZWX. Angle D. Angle D refers to y vertex. Y should come in middle. Either you go ZYX or you go XY and Z. So angle X, Y and Z. This is the way you are going to do it. You have learned actually a lot compared to the content what you have in your textbook. But remember, it is going to be very useful for your future. Say when you go to 5th class, when you go to 6th class. Measuring angles now. I'll show you how to measure. We did this. Okay, other way of naming an angle. We'll go measuring angles. We measure angles in degrees. The standard measuring unit to measure an angle is degree, as I told you in our basics class. How to measure this? One right angle measures 90 degrees. We write 90 degrees for 90 degrees. This is symbolic representation. 90 degrees like this. This is the symbol to represent your degree. Whatever the degree you have, if you write down a small 0 as your superscript, you call it as degree to it. How are you going to measure 90 degrees? Let me show you on a other board. Many students, they do mistake while drawing an angle. If I give you to draw a 40 degrees angle, say 40 degrees, how are you going to draw? First of all, you observe your instrument, protractor. See this protractor, you have the same values twice on it. You have 10 here, you have 10 here, you have 20 and 20, 30, you have 30. Say 130 is here, again 130 is here, right? 110 is here, you have 110 is here. So many students, they do mistake. If I ask you to point it out 40 degrees, few students, they point this 40 degrees, few students, they point this 40 degrees. Still, out of 20 students in a class, maximum 8 to 10 students does this mistake. I'm not talking about lower class students, even higher class students also, they have not understood how to use protractor. Let us now, we'll start. I'll show you how to use it. Draw a ray first. This is your ray. This is a vertex A. This is protractor. This line, what you are observing here, you call it as base line. This is a center, you call it as center point. You coincide the center point on a vertex A. After coinciding the protractor center point on vertex A, now you focus it. Where is the direction of ray? The ray is in this direction. The ray is here, not here. That is why you choose the scale. Okay, you have two scales. One scale starts from this side 0, and another scale you have, it starts from this side 0. 0 to 180 in this direction. One from here 0 to 180 in this direction, that is clockwise direction and anti-clockwise direction. Suppose if the ray is in this direction, vertex is here, then you coincide your center point on the vertex, and according to the direction of ray is in this direction, so start your measuring of degrees from this ray direction onwards. I'll keep this here, I'll coincide this. I have coincided the center point of protractor on a ray. Ray is in this direction. So start 0 from here and measure to 40 degrees. This is your 40 degrees. With this one, this is exactly 40 degrees starting from 0. So I made it. Now you can see this is your 40 degrees. Suppose if we go to another aspect, I'll do it here so that you can understand much better. I'll take a ruler, I'll draw a line, right, the ray. Fine. I'll take this side, this is the direction of ray, I'll change. Earlier I have drawn the ray in this direction, now I am drawing the ray in this direction, and this is the vertex. Coincide the center of protector on the vertex. Then you see which direction the ray is. Is it in this direction or in this direction? Of course it is in this direction. So start counting from 0, which is in the direction of ray itself. So here you have 0. So 0 to 40 degrees. This is your 40 degrees. I'll change it to this one. Now this is your 40 degrees. This is anti-clockwise and this is your clockwise direction. Remember, don't do the mistake. Start measuring the degree by observing the direction of the ray. If the direction is in this way, then you have to start considering 0 from this side. And if the ray direction is in this way, then you have to start 0 measuring from this side. In that way you are going to draw an angle. And forget about see, no need to draw even a straight line like a horizontal line. Even you can go with other lines also. Example, if I draw a line, I'll simply draw with the pen here. Suppose this is a line, and if this is a line, this is a vertex A, this is a ray, not a line, this is a ray. Then how are you going to draw 40 degrees angle? It is very simple. Again you coincide the center of your protractor like this. This way you are going to keep it. Then the ray is in this direction. The ray is in this direction. Find out the 0 on the scale in the same direction on which the ray extends. Here is 0. Now you start counting 0, 10, 20, 30 and 40. You just mark with your pencil at 40 degrees and then join the line. I can do it here itself, so I am doing it. This is your 40 degrees. Remember, don't do the mistake. You just check what is the direction of ray. If the direction of ray is towards the right side, use the scale which starts 0 from right side. If the ray is extending towards the left side, then use the scale starting from 0 on left side of the protractor. In that way you are going to draw angles. Hope you people are not going to do the mistakes. Let us go back to our chapter. Here the same thing. Let us see. We measure angles in degrees, we know it. This is your 90 degrees. One right angle measures 90 degrees. We write 90 degrees for 90 degrees. This is a symbolic representation. 90 degrees. Keep it a symbol here. This is a symbol to represent degrees. You should write it as a superscript, right, above the value, towards the right side, not towards the left side. Here he has shown you how to use protractor. Let us check. We use a protractor to measure an angle. This is your protractor, and see here you have two scales, one 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 up to 180, and you have another scale very much adjacent to it. See here 0, 10, 20, 30. One goes in this direction, that is your clockwise direction. Other scale shows anti-clockwise direction. So you can use it in both ways depending on the direction of the ray. Okay, let us start now. This is your angle EDC or CDE. There are two rays. CD is a ray and DE is also a ray having a common point. You call it as vertex. Keep this protector, a center of this protector on the vertex, and match this base line of the protector on this ray. Then check the ray is in which direction? This direction, not in this direction. So choose a scale which starts its 0 in this direction, right? That is what given. Place a baseline of protector on ray DE. Place the center of baseline at vertex D. This, read the angle measure in the scale. Start reading from 0. So in this direction you have the ray. So start reading the scale starting from 0. Zeros you have on both sides, but you have to use this side because the direction of ray is in this direction. Remember that always. Then the measure angle CDE as 50 degrees. You are going to do it. Of course you should do it. In this way, see here, this is above, right, beyond 90 degrees, that is more than 90 degrees. Measure angle STU. You have STU angle, that is T. Angle is at T here. Let us say this is your right blue line, and this is your blue ray, and this is also TU is also a ray. We have placed a protector on it. Let us see, we have placed a protector on it. This is the direction of ray. Center point. This is the baseline of a protector. We have coincided on the ray. Start counting starting from 0 in this direction because the ray is in direction. So start 0, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110 and 120. So the angle here formed is 120 degrees. The same thing given. Place the baseline of protector, that we did it. Place the center of baseline at vertex T. Yes, we did it. Read the angle measure from the scale. Start reading from 0. Yes, we have started reading from 0. The measure of an angle, how much we got it here? That is 120 degrees, which is greater than 90. 90 degrees, which is greater than right angle. So this STU, angle STU is greater than 90 degrees. That's why you call it as obtuse angle. This way you are going to understand. Now you measure this. Here you have two rays. This is the ray and this is the ray. He has given the name of an angle as A. The ray is in this direction. So start reading from 0 here, 0, 10 and 20. So the angle A is how much? 20 degrees. In the same way, go to this one. Again, see, this is the baseline. Start counting from this side. How much? It goes to 140. So angle B, this angle B is how much? 140 degrees. It's very simple. The only thing is you have to understand. See here, no need to have a straight horizontal line. The line can be like this. See here, the line is slant in this way. Sorry, it is not line. I am repeating it again, but you please understand. It is not line, it is a ray. It has only, right, one end point. You understood? This point, this is the vertex. and he has given the angle as C. This is another ray. So the ray is in this direction. So start reading from 0, which is present at this side. The 0. See, this ray is between 40 and 50. Exactly in middle of 40 and 50 means 45 degrees. So the angle here is 45 degrees. In the same way, go to this one. This is a ray and this is a ray. We have coincided in the center of your protractor on the baseline, and then we start counting by reading 0 degrees here, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, 80, 90. This is in between, exactly center between 110 and 120 degrees. So it should be 115 degrees. This is what given here. In the same way, you please do this. Take a protractor and measure it. You don't have textbook with you, no problem. You do one thing, you draw a similar lines, right? Whatever you draw it, you just measure it accurately and write it down. You got my point? And don't send your parents also to get the printouts of this PDF. It's going to be costly, and also I don't like, rather. You just draw these figures as it is in your notebook and start, right, measuring it and write it down. In this case, if you see here, if you keep the vertex here and if you consider this as your baseline, then start counting 0 from this side. Or if you keep protractor in this way and the vertex is here and the baseline is this ray, then start counting from here and find it out. You will get, even if you find, right, the value of degree based on this line or based on this line, you get the same thing. You just check it once. Okay, you will come to know. Drawing angles. How to draw angle? It is also very simple. How to draw 35 degrees? First you draw a ray. Keep the protractor on vertex. Based on the direction of ray, you start counting from 0, the scale which is given on protractor, and you count till you get 35. Mark a dot in your book, remove the protractor and then join the line. Then it becomes like this. This is your angle 35. And how are you going to write down to this? You can write it down as angle CAB or angle BAC is equal to 35 degrees, or angle A is equal to 35 degrees, or you name angle as X, then you can say angle X is equal to 35 degrees. You can name it in many ways, but remember, the vertex the alphabet which represents the vertex should come in the middle. Clear? Let us go to the next one now. This is also same thing, 165 degrees. This is something important. I'll draw a ray first. I'll draw a ray. Let the ray is in this direction. Means this is the vertex, the starting point. I'll label it as, I want to draw an angle of 165 degrees. How are you going to do? We'll place protractor, a center point of the protractor on vertex A. I'll keep it here, but I have not coincided this according to this baseline on the ray. So I have to rotate it to coincide the baseline. Now this is, I have coincided the ray and baseline of protractor. Since it is in this direction, you start counting 0 degree onwards on this scale, not on this scale, because the direction of ray is in this way, in this side. So 165 degrees. So it comes, see here, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. This is 160. 160 is here. I'll just point out, this is your 160. Now this is 165 degrees. It is more than 90 degrees. If you keep this, you just check it. I have coincided this. This is your 90 degrees. It is from 0 to 90. This is this one. Let me check. I'll just change the color also so that you can come to know. This is the 90. This is 90 from here to here, and this is your 165 degrees. Remember this. Okay, that way we are going to draw. No need to have to draw a straight ray. Instead of that, you can draw in any direction and start calculating it. There are only 2 to 3 things you have to remember. That suppose if this is the ray, this is your vertex, keep your protractor and then see the direction of the ray and start counting from 0 degrees and get your required result. At the end, I think you have understood how to use protractor. Let us go back to our subject. This is the way given here. See, 165. We got the same thing. Okay, we got the same thing, right? You please do even this also. First you find it out. At angle P is 84 degrees. If this is a P point, then check whether this when you draw a line and keep a protractor and check whether this angle is forming 84, or if it is not, then you draw the next point ray and then check it whether you get 84 degrees or not. In that way you please check it. 154 degrees. Remember how you are going to do. Let me see. Do it. And this, name each angle. Now the time has come to name it. This is your ray. This is another ray. You keep the protractor here, inverted base, and then start counting it. So it has started like this. Okay, it is not going in this way. This is the angle. This is the maximum displacement, right? From here to here or from here to here, one and the same. Okay, if you keep the protractor like this, you keep the protractor like this and measure it. The ray is in this direction. Start 0 and then see what is the angle. Obviously this angle you get it as acute angle, which is less than 90 degrees. This you get more than 90 degrees. This is obtuse angle. I want degrees also. Maybe it comes to say 140. Okay, this and this also you take any ray. If you consider this ray, then start measuring the scale 0 from this side. If you coincide to this, the vertex on this ray, then start measuring 0 from that side. Remember only these points. You can do the best. Find the measures, yes, that you have to do it. Then come back to the next one. Draw an angle with a measure of 60 degrees, 45 degrees, 125 degrees and 155 degrees. Please do it. Draw angle ABC with a measure of 80 degrees. Draw it, but angle should be at B, because B is a center letter here. So if you draw an angle of like this, this is your 80 degrees, this is your 90 now, this is your 90, so it should be 80, right? Then A, B and C. The angle should come at vertex B. Remember this. Before going to this turns and 8-point compass, I'll tell you that is how you are going to find it out, directions. Remember one important thing, that how to find the directions. When your face is towards north, the vision, the face is towards north, your right hand side is always your east. Or you can say, when your right hand side is your east, then your face indicates or shows the direction north. Remember this always, right? This is your 90 degrees. If you flip it like this, it becomes another 90. If I join this, then this becomes 180 degrees. This is quarter, becomes half. This again you flip to this, it becomes like this. It is another 90. So 9 ones are 9, 9 twos are 18, 9 threes are 27, that is 270 degrees. If you flip it again in this direction, it becomes this. So another 90. So there are 4 90s actually. So 90, another plus 90, it becomes 180. Plus 90 to 180 becomes 270. Plus 90 to 270, it becomes 360. So there are 4 90s. Remember this. So this is called 1/4 turn. 1/4 turn. 1/4 turn is, this is important because you are going to study in details. This is 1/4 turn. This is half turn. This is 3/4 turn, and this is complete 1 turn. Remember, let me show you here. This is 3 right angles. This is 4 right angle. This is your 1 right angle, that is 1/4. And this is your another right angle. So this is your right half. This is your 1/4 turn. This is your complete half turn. And this is your 3/4 turn, and complete is your 360 degrees. You call it as 4 right angles. As I told you earlier to this is your first right angle, this is your second right angle, this is your third right angle, and this is your fourth right angle. So when angle is here, you call it as 90 degrees. When angle is here, it call it 180 degrees. An angle is here, it is 270 degrees. An angle when come back to this one, it becomes 360 degrees. It means what? This is 1 right angle, this is 2 right angles, this is 3 right angles, and this is your 4 right angles. Or you can say this is your 1/4 turn, this is your half turn from here to here, and this is your 3/4 turn. Or you can say 3 right angles turn, and this is complete 4 turns. That is 1/4, this is 1/4, this is 2/4, this is 3/4, this is 4/4. That is nothing but one complete circle. You have to understand these things. 3/4 turns, you call it as 270 degrees. A complete turn measures 360 degrees. So 1/4 turn is 90 degrees, half turn is 180 degrees, 3/4 turns you call it as 270 degrees. A complete turn measures 360 degrees. That is also given here very clearly. Now you see, telling directions using the 8-point compass. This is very important because competitive level of exams, this kind of stuff you are going to face there. So please understand. As I told you, if you see towards north side, your right side is east. I told you, right? So this is north, this is east. This is opposite to east is west, opposite to north is south. It's very simple. Further, when it's divided into another 4 parts, what exactly it means? This is your east and this is your north. And the center thing, you call it as northeast. That is exactly, this complete angle is 90 degrees. When it divides into 2, then each part will become 45 degrees. So this angle, you call it as northeast. You write it down as northeast. What in Telugu you call it as Ishanyamu, northeast corner. In the same way, this is, you call it as northwest, Vaivyamu. And in this direction, that is the center of your west and south, you call it as southwest, you call it as Nairuti. This is very important place. And this one, right, between south and east, the center area of south and east, you call it as southeast, Agneyamu. Right? So this is Agneyamu. This is your Ishanyamu, this is Vaivyamu, and this is Nairuti. This is very important. Let us go to this one. Northeast is 45 degrees away from north and east. Southeast is 45 degrees. Southeast means what? Southeast is 45 degrees away. See here. Okay. Example, this is southeast. Southeast is away 45 degrees from east and also away 45 degrees from south. Northeast is away 45 degrees from east and also away from north. Similar way you can get it this. That is what given here. You please write it down and finish it off. And see, this is a map given. This map shows the location of places in a town. Here a compass given north. So your bus stop is at north. Okay, center you have a fountain, and this is, see here, I'll just write it down. This is your north. Okay, this is your east. This is your west. This is your south, and this is southwest corner. Southwest corner, right? So based on that, you just write it down. This is a center. You can answer to these questions, and also you can see this. You have hospital towards east. This is north. This park is northeast. This is west tower. This is your northeast west. Okay. I'll just write it down. This is north, east, west, south. Then this is your southeast. This is your northeast. This is your northwest. And this is your southwest. Over. There ends the matter. You can please, you can do it, finish it off. All these things given. This also simple, clockwise and anti-clockwise, you know it, do it, finish it off. This will end up this session here. Anyhow, we have end up with our chapter called angles. I'll go back again to one more thing, that is in our index. We have finished this. Chapter 1 finished, chapter 2 finished, 3 over and 5 over. You have to go only with tables and graph. It is very small, of 3 to 4 pages, that we'll see later. Your quarterly portion, or you can say FA1 and FA2 portion, is from these topics. and I'll stop now mathematics. We'll go to science subject. You please repeat these chapters again and again, do it again and again, and send me through WhatsApp. Hope you people have understood this and you are going to rock. I know it. Till then, stay happy and stay healthy. Thank you.